This week on Hermitcraft.
You know when you've been tangoed.
Welcome to the Hermitcraft RECAP. My name is PixelRiffs, our writer is LoyXP, and the Hermitcraft server is many things, but one thing we did not expect it to be was Gmod Prop Hunt. But considering it's only one step away from the murder game mode at the best of times, it's not the biggest leap. Shenanigans abound, experiments are conducted, the bases become more mega, this week has it all. So let's take a look at all the events and mishaps before this script turns out to be TangoTek in disguise. Starting with XbCrafted, whose wasteland base is looking fancier by the day. The dome within a dome gets a glow up with some material swaps and copper chains. His attention is diverted by people stopping by to swap other materials for significant papers. By our reckoning, Horsehead Farms now has IOUs from more than half the server. The latest folks to sign their somethings away are PearlescentMoon, who needed more moss for a mountain, GeminiTay, who walks away with a shulker full of assorted wood, and Cleo, who returns for more leather and might have thrown in a free gym membership.
Yeah, I mean, we got all the leather that you could want.
Well, I mean, we got leather that's in this thing here.
And that's all you could want, because that's all we have.
Returning to the base, XB decides 2 domes weren't enough. It needs a dome underneath as well. Naming it the Underdome, he digs out a concave pit below the central egg and floods it, adding filtration pipes as a practical water feature. Tune in next week to find out what is beyond Underdome.
So what gave me this idea is they have those things in like the lakes or whatever where it does this. And so that's kind of what I was going for.
Welsknight takes up a project similar in spirit. Having decided that this season's base will be a sci-fi castle, he signals for liftoff and arises a floating island from under the ground, at least the wireframe of it, for now. His plan to outfit the future home with jet engines is fitting for someone as involved with the Yes Wings Club as he is. Now that their rivals at Club Penguin, because they have wings but they don't fly, are inching towards completing their 1000-day medals, Impulse and Wells foresee an influx of fresh recruits, so they spend extra time together finalizing the interiors of the place and establishing the exact tariffs and benefits. You have to pay for a membership, but the membership means you get fireworks cheaper. Plus there's the nice hat, of course.
Hermits, we go through a lot of rockets, so...
Oh yeah, that No Wings Club isn't gonna last forever. I bet all of them will be giving up on that soon.
Yeah, probably within the next couple weeks here, I imagine.
Having caught wind that the Teg is in JoeHills' possession, ImpulseSV takes a hot tip from Diamond Hooves and finds it in the hayloft.
Excuse me, Diamond Hooves, do you happen to know where the tag is? Huh? Did he just nod up here? Did you see that? He found it! Oh!
He hides it inside another quiz game, this time with lightning round rules. Participants must answer 5 questions within a minute or pay an additional diamond to reopen the redstone garage door.
And if they get the quiz right, they'll get the egg.
After putting the finishing touches to the Yes Wings Club, Impulse builds more factory stuff. And more factory stuff. And more factory stuff.
I dare you to call that not mega. Come on now, look at the size of this base.
A monumental amount of effort later, his side of Boatum Town looks fit for an eccentric chocolatier to make his home, as long as you don't look at the back half or any of the insides. But this is Hermitcraft, the back half doesn't exist anyway. By this time, the Teg has been swiped, so Impulse goes for the consolation prize of supergluing some wings to Zedaph's back, builds a basalt generator seconds before B-dubs, has Scar wax his awning, and promptly gets tangoed. Soon enough, Hypnotizd has discovered the Who Wants to Be a Tegionaire game and wikied his way through the combination. Luckily, his new base makes for one insane hiding spot, and it's not helped by the decision to make the interiors just as organic and overgrown. Hypno mosses up the inside of the red cap something good, while still making the area easy and intuitive to navigate.
So yeah, you can see I don't have enough leaves to cover everything like I'd like to do, but we got a good portion of it done, over here at least.
The actual hiding spot he chose for the Teg left us conflicted and confused, because on the one hand, how was anyone ever supposed to find it, and on the other, we only know where it is because Cubfan found it.
This is literally like 1 minute after we drank the potion, we found it. Wow. Well done, Hypno. Man.
Ever the industrialist, Cubfan would have you believe he's burning souls for his super smelter, and he might as well be, seeing as how Minecraft furnaces are technically powered by real-life electricity. The furnace array is but a fraction of the super smelter Cub installed back at Concorp in Season 6, but a fraction of that still smelts at top speed. And since Cub is not one for store-bought flames of hell, we see him decorate a goth and gloomy nether portal room for the base that eventually spills out into the supercooker as well. Importing things from the nether turns out to be a valid business strategy for Evil Azuma. Having found out that money can't buy happiness because nobody is selling, Evil X tries to hold it for ransom. The promise of his newest campaign is that every diamond spent on Strider coin will help save the poor Striders from shivering, which is probably true because he'll be too busy gawking at the profits to abuse any more Striders.
And that is because over here I have minted some limited edition coins that the hermits can buy. The funds will of course maybe be used to save the Striders, and these coins will also increase over time as they become rarer.
And so, as regular Azuma develops a stone generator-based moss farm, which produces enough bone meal to actually run itself and then some, Evil X develops an addiction to ZombieCleo's sports drink. A fun way to visualize a large build comes with JoeHills and ZombieCleo, who both receive a papercraft model of the castle they are meaning to build as their Hermitcraft base. Before the blocky recreation will rise, the two co-stream sticking the structure together, as well as planning out the massive footprint for it at a 1-to-1 scale, so that there's plenty of space for extra detail. It might, however, take a whole load of armor stands, and so Cleo sells her soul to Horsehead Farms for some leather, and heals GeminiTay's soul as the only hermit so far not dunking on her birch trees.
You know what? I don't have a problem with birch trees.
Oh, really? Oh,
no,
good.
I'm good with birch
You're the
trees.
first person who's ever said that to me on this server. Do you know that?
Don't tell me, don't tell me, don't tell me.
Gem's custom trees became available as a product now that she's opened a shop to distribute them out of. For a diamond block, Cleo gets a whole weeping willow and a voucher for a free birch.
It's so cute and detailed, and I can just picture myself like living here. As weird as that sounds, I really can.
But while Gem is out there gathering leaves and logs to shape into easily distributable product, TangoTek actually becomes one for a fun evening of stealth pestering. Having 3D modeled a carved pumpkin into a tree, Tango is able to render a full-size oak tree onto his own head. By looking at the horizon just right, he blends in well enough, and from there, proximity chat carries him over to comedy gold.
I thought I was going crazy. I was like, did that tree just move?
Well, I'm like, all right, Mumbo, let's sneak up on him, and he just dumps right in your base with a snow tree. So I'm like, that might be a bit obvious.
Soon enough, Mumbo and Grian join in and run around reenacting the final act of Macbeth at people. GoodTimesWithScar even takes the concept a step further and channels a soundboard into voice chat, running around with a creeper head on, playing hiss and explosion sounds at people already constantly spooked by their stream's sound alerts.
Whoa! Oh jeez! What? What are you doing, man?
Once the time zone is exhausted for spookable friends, Tango moves on to working in Fifi's Grove and establishes a sorting system that combines several techniques into a single chest array, both with single item bulk storage and a multi-item system, as well as a filter for the unstackable and a shulker box unloader. So the whole reason Scar even has a creeper head is because, taking advantage of a thunderstorm, he went dancing in the rain and zapped himself a small army of chargy boys to later sell out of the swaggin. There is, however, a glaring issue with this plan. Scar is very much not sure how to move them around. And move around he will have to if he wants to deliver on Cubfan's purchase, which Cub wants on the top of the world at the peak of the fake dripstone beacon.
I can neither confirm nor deny that, but that's the plan.
Oh, okay, we'll climb aboard the wagon because you are in luck.
Scar's capitalisms hit another roadblock when he finds out that BOO has vandalized one of the swaggons. Luckily, by then a whole new cart arrives to the Tycoon's base, equipped with tank tracks, but unfortunately not tank weapons. Instead, Scar settles for psychological warfare and buys out one of Gem's birch trees, only to put it right up front of B-Dubs' base.
I don't know where this extra block went, so I'm just gonna place it right there.
The BOO abuse continues with Zedaph, who secures an interview with the guy deep in the test chambers of his laboratory. The prodding at his brain takes us on an adventure through hide and seek, zero ticking, and even explosions. Zed admits he might have dug a little too deep with this one though, granted the damage to the lab is fairly monumental.
And then all you gotta do is just AFK right here. Ow, 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 ow.
And speaking of monuments, iJevin is out there sponge percent speedrunning the whole server. The Shulkerbox shop starts selling sponges at 8 a pack, a service the community will not forget, just like he won't forget the community service that the Hermits Helping Hermits livestream lent him. The cylinder of his swamp base was dug down to the bedrock, and now outfitted with lime green fog effects covering up the actual bottom. With this, the place is ready for construction to begin, and who knows what awaits us in the deep green.
there was a lot of monuments that literally didn't even have sponge, and then there would be some that had like 4 rooms. And I know it's like a random chance between 1 and 4, but I was literally finding none.
Doc M has been doing some research on the shulker market, but isn't worried about iJevin's lower prices since they seem to be a limited time offer. He's more concerned with innovations like a sweeping edge mob killing system that avoids him dying to thorns damage, and a transport tube that lets him travel at about half the speed of sound, which is about 4 times the speed of proximity chat.
Oh, yeah. Hold, sprint. Oh, the dog's going crazy. Hold forward. Oh, here we go, dude. Oh my goodness. Whoa, dude.
After a meeting in a new beach on top of the shulker walker, Doc shows Rendog how to fire himself using this dolphin-powered railgun, and Ren fires back with the new shop he's built to sell logs out of. Sorry, did I say shop? I meant futuristic biofuel-guzzling tank crane hybrid. It's weird how I sometimes get those mixed up.
And has wasted 2 days waiting for copper to oxidize.
The log shop is straight out of Ren's childhood imagination, but before he can unleash this beast on the unsuspecting server, and while he's waiting for all that copper to age, he swings by Evil Azuma's corporate empire and falls madly in love with the potential of Derpcoin. So it's no surprise that when Oxygon's log shop opens, it accepts Derpcoin as currency. Dang it, I said shop again.
Well, as we have seen this episode with our meeting from Doc, my dudes, we're going to do everything that we can this season to get as many Derp coin as possible. So here at Biggest Logs Incorporated, premium Derp coin will be accepted.
Before the construction even began on their castle, JoeHills was building an adjacent village. The inn and the smithy act as storage and smelting support buildings for the castle project, while Cleo maps out the Mario Kart track diagram that forms the castle footprint. From that point on, they seem to exclusively communicate through changes to their mutual dripstone farm, but the build palette comes together nicely, and in the meantime, Joe has a chance to be confused by GoodTimesWithScar and help Cubfan avoid being pickled along with his villagers.
You know, I'm not going to say this is a prank war, because this is just good, clean fun, but also, like, we are going to keep both messing with each other's designs, clearly, because this is unacceptable.
On a server that already has its fair share of custom-made mountains, PearlescentMoon's addition to the landscape of Botum still manages to stand out from the crowd. Assigning her section of the gigabase to the biome between Grian and Scar, she terraforms a majestic and lush mountain in a striking color palette, and while we're all picking our jaws off the floor, she explains where she got the materials, via IOU from Horsehead Farms, and from buying in bulk from JeVin and Tango.
There is so much structure that we can fit on this landscape. I haven't even planned what the structure is exactly going to look like.
Now he's all fixed for food and logs, TinfoilChef swings by the nearest Parson Gas to shop for a few mending and sharpness books he didn't pick up last time, pausing only to admire Cubfan's Dripstone Canyon and the other roadside attractions.
I don't know, some strange kind of alien desert, perhaps?
Eventually he is drawn to the Dark Lord's architecture, which is even darker because his lighting is set to moody. But it seems to be the only place with a handful of glowstone, so he takes his first adventures into Derpcoin and returns to his branch mine both enlightened and enchanted. After making some light modifications to his horse...
The Fast and Fury horse is real! I mean... This is so stupid.
Mumbo begins terraforming a lake at the base of his mountain waterfall, the natural way, which in Mumbo's case just means lots of end crystals, then stealing a beacon from Grian and doing a time-lapse. Suspicious shulker boxes are the least of his troubles, because then Tango appears to him as a tree, and after several minutes of enting it up, he comes to PearlescentMoon's aid in a duel with Corrales. This develops into the first three-way end crystal standoff, and possibly the first time a contestant in a duel has shot themselves.
Corrales is actually the first person to throw his ender pearl, but he threw it into his own end crystal? I don't know exactly how he did it. But that seems to be what happened.
No wonder Mumbo returns to the peace and quiet of the waterfall afterwards. And finally there's BOO, who might be the only person to be surprised by a tree that's actually a tree this week.
This looks very, very familiar. Gift from the Swaggin to my favorite little eye guys. Wait, okay, I think I'm onto something.
He's equally surprised by the fact that Pearl and Corrales' castle build seems to have gone for a walkabout, and that its creators seem to be dueling to the death. All these surprises can't be good for the brain, so it's a good thing Zedaph is there to run some calibration tests.
Don't listen.
5 seconds to go, I'm not listening.
Okay.
I mean, what? What?
B-Dubs' next goal is to open a shop for all the stone types he can easily generate, but when asking Scar for some soul soil actually results in B-Dubs walking away with less soul soil than he started with, he decides Impulse might be a more reliable source. And it turns out he's so reliable he's built his own basalt generator already. But B-Dubs is determined to see his own project through, and once Cubfan has generously supplied the blue ice, he fills in one of the oceanfront frames with a shop that will cater to all your needs, as long as all you need is cobblestone and basalt. And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is PixelRiffs. I'm on holiday this week, but that doesn't mean you can't watch one of my videos. The latest episode of my Empire's SMP series is linked in the end screen theatre. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.